30 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Gabor Ksenia is P4. Bruce Hardwick is P2. John Astrup from New Zealand in S's is P5 on hards. Eric Bohm from Germany in turn 6 is P9 on hards. John Astrup in turn 7 AM is P4. San Markham is P8. Martijn Mol from Netherlands in turn 8 is P7 on hards. Glenn Field from United Kingdom is P2 on hards. David Kelsall is P9 on hards. Ian Morton in turn 9 is P2 on hards. Mark Scott from Norway is P9, 0.8 ahead of Zsolt Ksenia. Ian Morton in S's is P3, 0.1 behind John Astrup. Ian Morton is now P5. Rene Robertson in turn 6 is P3 on hards, 0.3 behind John Astrup. Martijn Mol is P7, 0.2 behind Attila Ksenia. Rene Robertson is P3, 0.4 behind John Astrup. Attila Ksenia is P7, 0.3 behind Martijn Mol. Rene Robertson is P3, 0.2 behind John Astrup. Zsolt Ksenia from Hungary is P9 on hards, 0.1 behind Mark Scott. Zsolt Ksenia is now P8. Rene Robertson on lap 2 is P3, 0.1 behind John Astrup. Rene Robertson is now P5. Rene Robertson entering the pits after 2 laps on hards is P8. San Markham is P3. Mark Scott from Norway in S's is P8, 1.0 behind Zsolt Ksenia. Zsolt Ksenia was 1.1 faster last lap. San Markham is P3, 0.2 behind John Astrup. San Markham was 1.4 faster last lap. Mark Scott in turn 7 AM is P8, 0.5 ahead of David Kelsall. 25 minutes remaining in the session. Ian Morton is P12. San Markham is P3, 0.1 behind John Astrup. San Markham is now P2. Rene Robertson is P14. San Markham in turn 9 is P3, 0.2 behind John Astrup. David Kelsall is P9, 0.2 behind Mark Scott. John Astrup in S's is P3, 0.2 behind San Markham. Ian Morton on lap 4 is P13, 0.1 behind Bruce Hardwick. John Astrup in turn 7 AM is P3, 0.4 behind San Markham. San Markham from Zimbabwe is P2, 0.4 behind Glenfield. San Markham was 1.1 faster last lap. Eric Bohm is P4, 0.2 behind John Astrup. Mark Scott on lap 4 is P8, 0.1 ahead of David Kelsall. John Astrup in turn 9 is P4, 0.1 behind Eric Bohm. David Kelsall in turn 9 is P9, 0.2 behind Mark Scott. San Markham in S's is P2, 0.4 behind Glenfield. John Astrup in S's is P4 on hards, 0.2 behind Eric Bohm. San Markham on lap 5 is P2, 0.1 behind Glenfield. John Astrup in turn 7 AM is P4, 0.1 behind Eric Bohm. San Markham is P2 battling Glenfield. San Markham is now P1. John Astrup is P4, 0.5 behind Eric Bohm. Richard Ogden is P11 on hards, 0.5 behind Brian Patterson. Eric Bohm in turn 9 is P3, 0.4 behind Glenfield. Brian Patterson is P11 on hards, 0.1 behind Richard Ogden. Glenfield in S's is P3, 0.1 behind Eric Bohm. Eric Bohm was 1.3 faster last lap. Brian Patterson in turn 1 on lap 6 is P11, 0.1 behind Richard Ogden. 20 minutes remaining in the session. John Astrup is P4 on hards, 0.2 behind Glenfield. John Astrup was 0.9 faster last lap. Mark Scott is P8, 0.8 ahead of David Kelsall. Martin Wall in turn 8 is P5. Best lap is a 1:49.468. Bruce Hardwick entering the pits after 6 laps on hards is P13. Mark Scott in turn 8 is P8, 0.5 ahead of David Kelsall. Mark Scott is now P11. Richard Ogden is P9, 0.4 behind David Kelsall. Glenfield in S's is P3 on hards, 0.5 ahead of John Astrup. Richard Ogden in turn 1 is P9, 0.3 behind David Kelsall. John Astrup is P4, 0.3 behind Glenfield. Glenfield is P3, 0.2 ahead of John Astrup. Martin Wall in turn 8 on lap 7 is P5, 0.4 behind John Astrup. John Astrup is P4, 0.2 behind Glenfield. Brian Patterson is P10, 0.2 behind Richard Ogden. Richard Ogden was 1.0 faster last lap. John Astrup in turn 9 is P4, 0.2 ahead of Martin Wall. Richard Ogden in turn 9 is P9, 0.5 behind David Kelsall. Martin Wall in S's is P4, 0.3 ahead of John Astrup. Zsolt Ksenia in turn 6 is P7. Martin Wall from Netherlands is P4, 0.2 ahead of John Astrup. Richard Ogden in turn 7 AM is P9, 0.4 behind David Kelsall. Martin Wall is P4 on hards, 0.4 ahead of John Astrup. Glenfield is P3, 0.6 ahead of Martin Wall. John Astrup in turn 9 is P5, 0.3 behind Martin Wall. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Martijn Mol is P4, 0.2 behind Glenn Field. Glenn Field in S's is P3, 0.5 ahead of Martijn Mol. Brian Patterson entering the pits after 8 laps on hards is P9. John Astrup is P5, 0.3 behind Martijn Mol. Martijn Mol is P4, 0.3 behind Glenn Field. Ian Morton in S's is P11. Ian Morton entering the pits after 9 laps on hards is P11. Martijn Mol is P4, 0.2 behind Glenn Field. David Kelsall in turn 8 is P8, 3.8 ahead of Richard Ogden. Glenn Field in turn 9 is P4, 0.2 ahead of John Astrup. Martijn Mol is P3, 0.2 ahead of Glenn Field. Glenn Field on lap 10 is P4, 0.6 ahead of John Astrup. Rene Robertson in turn 8 is P13. John Astrup is P5 on hards, 0.3 behind Glenn Field. Glenn Field is P4, 0.5 ahead of John Astrup. Martijn Mol in turn 9 is P3 on hards, 0.9 ahead of Glenn Field. Rene Robertson entering the pits after 7 laps on hards is P13. John Astrup is P5. Best lap is a 1:50.620. 1.152 of the fastest lap. Glenn Field in S's is P4, 0.1 ahead of John Astrup. Attila Kseni in turn 8 is P6 on hards, 0.4 behind John Astrup. John Astrup is P5, 0.4 behind Glenfield. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Glenfield on lap 11 is P4, 0.4 ahead of John Astrup. Martin Moll is P3 on hards, 1.2 ahead of Glenfield. Martin Moll was 0.9 faster last lap. Glenfield entering the pits after 11 laps on hards is P4. Glenfield is P6. Glenfield is now P7. Martin Moll in turn 6 is P3 on hards, 1.7 ahead of John Astrup. Sam Markham in turn 8 is P1. Best lap is a 1:49.558. 0.090 of the fastest lap. Zsolt Ksenia in turn 8 is P6. Best lap is a 1:50.603. 1.135 of the fastest lap. Ian Morton in turn 8 is P12. Richard Ogden is P9, 1.7 behind David Kelsall. Martin Moll in S's is P3, 2.2 ahead of John Astrup. Richard Ogden in turn 9 is P9, 0.9 behind David Kelsall. San Markham on lap 13 is P1, 3.3 ahead of Eric Bohm. Martin Moll is P3, 2.0 ahead of John Astrup. Attila Ksenia is P5, 2.3 behind John Astrup. Rene Robertson in turn 8 is P13. Richard Ogden in turn 8 is P9. Best lap is a 1:52.366. 2.898 of the fastest lap. Richard Ogden is now P8. Glenfield in turn 9 is P7. Mark Scott from Norway is P10, 0.5 behind David Kelsall. Attila Ksenia is P5, 1.9 behind John Astrup. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Mark Scott in turn 1 is P10 on hards, 0.4 behind David Kelsall. David Kelsall in S's is P9, 0.2 ahead of Mark Scott. David Kelsall is now P8. Richard Ogden in turn 6 is P10 on hards, 0.4 behind Mark Scott. Martin Wall is P3, 3.0 ahead of John Astrup. Mark Scott is P9, 1.8 behind David Kelsall. Attila Kseni INS's is P5, 1.2 behind John Astrup. Attila Kseni was 0.7 faster last lap. Ian Morton entering the pits after 3 laps on hards is P12. Ian Morton is P12. Attila Kseni in turn 7 AM is P5 on hards, 0.1 behind John Astrup. Attila Kseni is now P4. Richard Ogden entering the pits after 14 laps on hards is P10. Glenn Field is P7. Rene Robertson in turn 8 is P13. Best lap is a 1:49.532. 0.064 of the fastest lap. Mark Scott is P9. Best lap is a 1:52.312. 2.844 of the fastest lap. Ian Morton is P12. Zsolt Kseni from Hungary is P6, 2.4 behind John Astrup. Mark Scott is P9 on hards, 0.4 behind David Kelsall. Brian Patterson is P10. Mark Scott is P9, 0.1 behind David Kelsall. John Astrup is P5, 2.3 behind Attila Kseni. Glenn Field is P7. Best lap is a 1:50.578. 1.344 of the fastest lap. Attila Kseni in turn 9 is P4, 2.2 ahead of John Astrup. David Kelsall in turn 8 is P8. Glenfield from United Kingdom is P7, 4.1 behind Zsolt Kseniai. Mark Scott in turn 8 is P9. Attila Kseniai in turn 6 is P4, 1.5 ahead of John Astrup. Sam Markham in turn 8 is P1 on hards, 4.4 ahead of Eric Bohm. Attila Kseniai in turn 8 is P4, 1.5 ahead of John Astrup. Sam Markham on lap 18 is P1. The leader has just finished the race. Sam Markham finished P1. Eric Bohm finished P2. Martin Moll finished P3. Attila Kseniai finished P4. John Astrup finished P5. Zsolt Kseniai finished P6. Richard Ogden finished P11. Rene Robertson finished P13. Glenfield finished P7. Ian Morton is P12. Ian Morton finished P12. David Kelsall finished P8. Mark Scott finished P9. Brian Patterson finished P10. Rene Robertson finished P13.